Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego. And today we're going to continue to talk about High Fidelity. That's right, High Fidelity, that wonderful movie from 2000, starring Joan Cusack, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Jack Black, Tim Robbins, all sorts of famous actors are in this movie or make cameos in here. Okay. I absolutely love this movie. Now, the reason that I chose this movie for my new subtopic of chick flicks for guys is because this movie actually is very good at portraying what it's like to date from a guy's point of view. Now, I've already reviewed Sex and the City. I reviewed all those episodes. I reviewed the movies and shit. Okay, now I'm going after your chick flicks. Well, this is not necessarily a chick flick. Okay, this is basically a chick flick movie, but from a guy's point of view, playing by guys' rules. And that's the most important thing, because a lot of chick flicks, okay, what they do is they take a woman, okay, they write it for a woman and they put a guy in there instead. So the guy's the one crying about the girl, the guy's the one that's trying to win her over, the guy's the one that's, all emotionally insecure with the fucking unattractive best friend that's horny all the fucking time. Okay, that shit doesn't work. Okay, we've all seen movies like that. It doesn't work. They make no money. They flop at the box office. So what does Hollywood do? They continue to put females as the main characters in chick flicks because according to chick flicks rules, that's what works. Okay, this is the opposite of that. This is a chick flick genre, because we're dealing with relationships, attraction, falling in love, heartbreak, all that kind of stuff. Okay, but we're doing it from a guy's point of view and we're playing by guys' rules. That means that the guys actually act like guys. Even though they're dealing with the same things that usually, Julia Roberts and Meg Ryan deal with in their movies, this time it's a guy dealing with those exact same things and he's handling it like a guy, for good or bad. He makes the decisions that a guy would make. That's the difference. That is the difference. He actually acts like a guy, okay? Now, John Cusack is one of the best actors for this type of role, okay? I respected him a lot, especially in the 80s when I was growing up. I grew up watching John Cusack, okay? Now, not so much. I don't like him too much anymore, okay? He hasn't done anything important like in 10 years, okay? But back in the day, he was like the voice of our generation, although he is older than me, a lot older than me. He was the voice of our generation, okay? Remember Better Off Dead? I want my $2, Say Anything, of course, where he's holding up the fucking boombox, Con Air, 8 Men Out. He's done so much stuff, so he's perfect for this role. I always thought that, like in the 90s, if they could have gotten him, if he could have been a perfect Spider-Man. He looks like Peter Parker. He acts like Peter Parker. In all of his movies, he acts like Peter Parker, looks like Peter Parker. He would have done a great fucking Spider-Man. But by the time that movie came out, he was too old for the part. Okay, but I always thought John Cusack would have been a great Spider-Man, great Peter Parker. Okay, because he was born to play Peter Parker, I think. Anyway, the point is that he's greatly cast for this movie, okay, because this movie deals with the relationships. Now, the book itself, I read the book before I saw the movie, okay? I read it when I was in the Marines. The book itself takes place in London, okay? Nick Hornsby, the author, okay, he's from London, okay? So there's a lot of pop influences in here, but mostly it's a lot of punk rock. He loves punk rock because punk rock was very popular in the UK back in the early 80s, late 70s. It was very popular over there. Now, it had its fans here too, but not as much as it did over there. Over there, that's what they listened to on the radio. They weren't listening to fucking Michael Jackson and Prince. They were listening to fucking, Johnny Rotten and the Sex Pistols, okay? That's what they were listening to over there, the B-52s, that kind of shit. Come On Eileen, that's what they were listening to over there, okay? David Bowie, Billy Idol, that's the shit that they were listening to over there. Us, we listened to it as well, but not as, we had other stuff too, okay? We still had fucking Whitney Houston, we had Madonna, we had Cyndi Lauper, we had Bruce Springsteen, we had all that other shit to go along with that. Okay, so the movie is mostly talking about music that he grew up listening to, which is mostly punk. Okay, but he also listened to some Motown as well. Okay. But the book is very good. I absolutely love the book. So when they decided to make a movie out of it, once I got out of the Marines and I went back home to Chicago, I went to go see the movie, and holy shit, it takes place in my neighborhood. This was my neighborhood. I'm watching a movie where the movie's taking place like right around the corner from my apartment. So how cool is that? How cool is that? And it's not the first time it's happened. I remember when Batman, what was it, Batman, not Batman Returns, but the one where a Batman comes back. I forgot, not The Dark Knight, but Batman Begins, yeah, with the Christian Bale one, Batman Begins. When that movie came out, I remember going to the theater to see that movie. That movie was also filmed in Chicago, and I remember thinking like, oh my God, the movie, this scene that's happening in the movie right now takes place in the building right behind the movie theater that I'm watching this at. Like that scene takes place right there. Or that scene takes place on the roof of my fucking job. Okay, like that. I remember seeing that because I saw with some friends. We're all like, that's where we work. That's our job right there, So anyway, And I started going with Transformers. But the point is that it's really cool for me to be able to see a movie that's actually filmed in my neighborhood. Okay, where all the characters interact in my neighborhood. Okay, it wasn't just a movie about music and about romance. It was a movie about the hood, about my hood. Okay, where I lived, the people I knew, you know, and that to me that was really cool. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Okay, and also the fact that Rob Gordon, the main character, he talks about music with a passion, the same type of passion that I have for comic books, for superhero movies, you know, for movies now because I'm always reviewing movies. Okay, but this passion that I have, I know a lot about stuff. I mean, I'm a wealth of useless information. Okay, but but you know, this passion that I have for comic books and making sure they get done right. Okay, he's the exact same way, but with music. He knows who the artists are. He knows what album it was. He knows where it charted on the Billboard charts. Okay, and as a matter of fact, for Rob Gordon, everything has a top 10. Everything is a top 5 for him. Okay, he breaks down his entire life that way. What was it? Top 5 girls I dated, you know, top 5 best restaurants I ate at, top 5 best concerts, okay, top 5 best albums I listened to. Everything's the top 5 or top 10 list for him, okay? That's part of his character, and I'm the same way, okay? And his employees, the guys that he works with, are also the same way. They're also fucking crazy cultural elitists when it comes to their music, okay? Just like my friends are cultural elitists when it comes to our superhero movies. That's what we do when we're together. We talk. We talk about comic books. We talk about superheroes. We talk about movies. We talk about action movies. That's what we do, okay? We test each other's trivia knowledge, okay? I know it sounds stupid, right? But it's the way that we are. There's people like that, okay? Is this type of mentality that is the reason that we have all these popular sci-fi movies today. That's the reason we have Star Wars. That's the reason we have the Marvel Universe. That's the reason we have all that shit. It's because of guys like me. They got so fucking passionate about this shit, okay, that it finally went mainstream. You got to remember, guys, we were in the closet back in the 80s. You want to talk about gays in the closet? Fuck that. We were in the closet in the 80s. You know what would have happened to me if I'd gone to school in 1984 wearing a Spider-Man t-shirt? I would have got my ass kicked. I would have gotten my ass kicked, and I did get my ass kicked. Okay, I'm talking from experience, okay? So absolutely, we were in the closet back then. There were no fucking hot girls walking around with Batman t-shirts. Get the fuck out of here. That shit didn't happen no much later on. We were already adults when that shit started happening. Okay, so no, okay? We were in the closet back in the 80s, back when I was growing up, okay? So that's kind of how these guys are, okay? They're into this music, specifically records, which in 2000, when this movie came out, nobody had record players anymore. Okay, your fucking parents had record players. You didn't have, they weren't making those anymore. Okay, we had CDs now. Okay, and some people still had cassette tapes. Okay, but that's the point. Okay, he's fucking in this genre of music that nobody fucking listens to anymore. Okay, they listen to music, but they don't listen to records anymore. Okay, this was way before YouTube and iPhones and iPads and all that kind of shit. Okay, so and Pandora, there was none of that shit back then. Okay, in 2000. Okay, so the idea that records would make a comeback was like so foreign back then that he was basically selling in a dying market, a market that died already. Okay, which it turns out it didn't. All that shit came back is because of movies like this that brought all that stuff back. That's why every fucking Zoomer and fucking millennial now has a record player, because it's movies like this that brought it back. Okay, so anyway, but that's just a rant. Anyway, so where I left off last time in my review here is Rob Gordon. He basically broke up with his girlfriend. She broke up with him. He wanted her to stay. She refused. He does immature things. He yells at her out the window. He paces around. He screams out loud. He blasts his music, and he breaks the fourth wall. He talks to us about what his emotional trauma is, about what he's going through, okay? And that's what I really like about the movies, because the movie goes into that. It goes into what it's like from a guy's point of view. What is he feeling? How does he handle his feelings, okay? Why does he keep fucking it up with girls? Why do all the girls that he dates end up cheating on him? Why does this stuff happen? The movie goes there. The movie goes there, and it doesn't fucking give you some cop-out reason like, oh, well, it's because the women are all sluts. No. There's responsibility there as well, okay, on your part, on his part. Well, we have to find out what that is. What is it about him that this shit keeps happening to? And that's what I love about this movie, because we go there. Name one fucking chick flick that goes there, okay, with the female protagonist, okay, where it ends up being her fault. I can think of one right now, Bridesmaids. That's the only one I can think of, okay? Mostly, it's always because the guys are all assholes. That's why they cheat on you. It's never because you're a fucking bitch. It's never that, okay? Okay, but this movie dealt with that. It deals with, the type of women he dates, but it also deals with his part in it. What was his fault? What is it about him that causes him to get fucked over and over again? And ladies, a lot of guys out there had that legitimate concern. I know I did. I did back then, especially back then when I was younger. Absolutely. You know, a lot of guys do that. And they don't make movies about that stuff. You know, even back then, they didn't make movies about it. That's why this movie's so special. This movie was doing that. It's an independent movie. It was made by Touchstone, okay, which is an apartment of Disney, okay, but which doesn't exist anymore. But those independent movies were doing stuff like that, which they don't do anymore. You know, you get a shitload of stuff like this for women, but nothing for guys. Nothing for guys. You think Netflix is going to greenlight a chick flick like this? They already created a TV show of this. They rebooted it 2 years ago. And what did they do? They race and gender swapped him. Yes, the main guy, they turned him into a black woman. Yes, yeah, Zoe Kravitz. Yes, okay. No, I'm not going to review that piece of shit. I already know it's a piece of shit because it got canceled after the first season. And the only reason Zoe Kravitz did it is because her mom is in this movie. But anyway, I digress. We haven't gotten to that yet. Okay, so moving right along. He's heartbroken. He's hiding it with anger, which most guys do. I mean, we do. Okay, and then he decides to give us, the audience, his top 10. His top 5. His top 5 worst breakups. These are the girls that really, really fucked him over the most that he still fucking has not gotten over. Okay, even though he's a grown man now, he's in his 30s now, he still has not gotten over this stuff. All right, which, hey, it's relatable. There are a lot of guys out there. I know I was. I mean, I remember one girl right now, it took me 2 years to get over her. 2 fucking years. That's a long time. It's a wasted 2 years. Okay, yeah. So that's what he talks about here. That's what he deals with, and he talks to you about it. He wants to know why all his relationships are fucked up. Why do girls keep breaking his heart? So he says the first one on his top 5 list of all-time worst breakups is Allison Ashmore. Allison Ashmore, okay? Now we do a flashback. Okay, it's the early 80s, or it might be the late 70s. I'm not sure. Okay, but we hear "I Want Candy." Okay, now you remember that song? You probably heard it in Guardians of the Galaxy or shit. This movie's basically a lot like the soundtrack for this movie is a lot like Guardians of the Galaxy. Just fucking pop songs. Most of them that the copyrights expired, so you can get them real cheap. You know. That's why you don't have too many big names, okay? Yes, you got Elton John shows up in here, so does Bruce Springsteen. He actually has a scene in the movie, okay? But a lot of the really, really big names, are obviously not going to be. You're not going to get Madonna because that costs too much money to use one of her songs. You're not going to get a Michael Jackson. That costs too much money. So you're going to get a lot of one-hit wonders, pop songs from the 80s, and a few from the 90s, and definitely from the 70s, okay? But you're not going to get the big names, okay? Because it would have cost too much money. The soundtrack would have cost more than it'd take to film a movie. All right, so we hear "I Want Candy." Okay, that's by a band called Bow Wow. Bow Wow Wow, yeah. Okay, and that song came out in 1982. So I'm guessing the scene is in 1982. Okay, although it should be in the late 80s. Because, anyway, I can't do the math right now. So he's sitting there smoking cigarettes with his friends. They all look like fucking the Ramones. The leather jackets, the shaggy brown hair, the fucking t-shirts, the metal t-shirts, all that kind of bullshit. And they're sitting there in front of high school. I'm assuming it's a high school. Okay, I'm guessing it's in Evanston, Illinois, because that's the suburb that John Cusack actually grew up in. I'm from Chicago myself, I know. Okay, but I'm guessing that's what it is, but it doesn't specify it. Anyway, here comes this preppy girl. By prep means she looks like she's from a richer family, richer upper class family. Okay, she's not wearing jeans and a leather jacket and smoking cigarettes. Okay, she looks like a prep. She's wearing a skirt. She's wearing a blue sweater. She's got her hair to, I think, Marsha Brady with a ponytail. That's what she looks like. Very respectable, nice-looking woman, okay? He sees her, he immediately is smitten by her, okay? And I would be too. She's a pretty girl. She's a pretty girl. And they're in high school, okay? Okay, sorry. Oh, no, actually, I got that wrong. That's actually the next girl. The girl that he sees here, sorry about that. The girl, that's actually Penny Hardwick. We haven't gotten her yet. Sorry. The girl that he sees here, we don't actually see very much of her. She's like 13 years old. We don't really see her face. That's the thing about it. We don't really see her face. We hear that song, "I Want Candy," okay, and we got the guys there. They're sitting there actually in the dugout of a Little League game. So we're walking past a Little League game. These group of young girls, 13, 12 years old, are walking by, and there's Rob Gordon. He's sitting there with his friends, okay. One of them is a guy named Kevin Bannister. We'll get to him later. And another unknown nerdy kid, okay? And he's sitting there. Now, he's probably like 13 or 14 years old, Rob Gordon is. Now, obviously, John Cusack is too old to play that character, so they had to get a child actor to play him at that age. And the person they got was Drake Bell. What's his name? Fucking Drake Bell? I don't know. This is like from before my generation. Okay? What the fuck is this guy's name? I can't think of it right now. But there was a show, I think it was on Nickelodeon, called Josh and Drake. Okay, or maybe his name's Josh Bell. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm too old to fucking know that shit. Okay. Oh my God, I have no idea who it is. Anyway, I'm Gordon here. Likes the girls, pushing girls, of course. No, damn. No, I don't even have it here. Okay, so anyway, he's sitting there and he's thinking about, he's narrating the scene here, okay? He's a kid, he's 13 years old, out in the Little League field. These girls are walking by, okay? And he says like, hey, you know what? One day, you know, girls, we didn't notice them at all. We didn't pay attention to them. They were playing with Barbie dolls. They were playing with, you know, girly toys. They were listening to boy bands and shit like that. We just didn't give them any attention. Then one day, all of a sudden, they were everywhere. We couldn't stop looking at them, and they had breasts. Okay, they smelt good, and they had breasts, and they had these high voices, you know, and they had these curves on them, which were just so fascinating to us, you know. And all of a sudden, we started feeling things, you know, down there, you know. And it's so true. That's just puberty. Okay, it's true. It's true. In the 5th grade, I didn't give a shit about girls. I didn't. But in the 6th grade, oh my God, I started looking at them differently, you know? You start getting hair in certain places, you know? Of course, the girls my age weren't into guys my age. Guys their own age. They wanted the older guys, okay? Which is still true today, okay? So, you know, they're just there, okay? And I thought that was pretty well written there. Because it is true, you know? Girls, when we hit puberty, we can't control it any more than you can. Okay? We don't want to be fucking these horn dogs obsessed with sex and getting hard-ons all the time. We don't want that. We didn't ask for that. It just happens. It just happens. I've gotten hard-on. When I was that age, I got hard-ons at the absolute worst time. At church? Yeah! Oh, and I wasn't even thinking about sex. You're not even thinking about sex. It was just... It's just there, you know? Damn, let me tell you, ladies, you'll never understand what that's like. You'll never go through that. You'll never know what that's like. Guys, you know exactly what that's like. It's like, oh my God. It's like you're pitching a tent and you're like, oh my God, go away. Go away. You got to hide it and shit, put a book over it, you know. It's insane. It's insane. But that's obviously what's going on with him, okay? Now, just like back then, just like today, back then, it's the same thing. He did not flirt with this girl, okay? His character did not flirt with this girl. Okay, she flirted with him. Okay, she flirted with him, and she came up to him and picked him out. So out of the 3 guys that were there, this girl with her girlfriends, she walks away from her girlfriends, goes up to Rob and picks him out. Out of the 3 guys there, picks him out and grabs his hand, and they go under the bleachers. And then we see them making out. Now Rob's younger version character is played by, I think his name is Josh Bell or Drake Bell. I think it's Josh Bell. Anyway, he got in trouble several years ago. He's still alive, yeah. He was on probation for a few years for soliciting a minor online. Now he was a Nickelodeon star. He was on that show Josh and Drake. I'm too old to have watched that show, so I don't know anything about that fucking show. I remember him in Not Another Superhero movie that the Wayans brothers did like 10, 12 years ago. Okay, and that's it. I never actually watched the Nickelodeon show because I was too fucking old for that shit. But he plays the young version of Rob Gordon, and he got in trouble a few years back for soliciting minors online and for sending inappropriate pictures to minors, and he got busted for it. So his career is shot to shit. Completely shot to shit now, okay? But he was arrested for it. He was arrested for it. But anyway, I just point that out because he's the actor that plays the young Rob Gordon in this scene. So anyway, him and her and this girl, Allison Ashmore, they're kissing underneath the bleachers, you know, like you do in junior high, that kind of thing. They're kissing there. And he says that their entire relationship consisted of 6 hours, okay? It was 2 hours after, for 3 days. It was 2 hours after school, okay, before the Rockford Files. Yeah, before the Rockford Files, okay, for 2 hours. So they would kiss for 2 hours one day, then he'd go home and watch the Rockford Files. Then the next day they would kiss again for 2 hours, then he would leave. Then the next day they kiss for 2 hours, then he would leave. And then on the 4th day he shows up for his daily kissing, and what happens? He sees her kissing another guy. She's kissing Kevin Bannister this time. That was the guy that was sitting with him, okay, when she first approached him, okay? And he's there with his other friend, his nerdy friend is there as well. And he's just like, well, come on. The guy's like 14, 13 years old. He's devastated. He's absolutely devastated. And the nerdy friend that there, he just says, slut. Of course, they don't hear it, okay? But he's devastated by this, okay? And let me tell you something, okay? I know what that's like too, okay? I'm thinking of a girl right now when I was in 7th grade, okay? When all these unexpected hard-ons started happening, okay? I remember she sat across from me in history class, Okay. And oh my God, she was 13 years old, but she already had a big developed pair of breasts. Okay. She already had some big titties. She was only 13. And I think I was like 12. I think I was 12. Yeah, I was 12. And oh my God. Oh my God, the hots I had for her. Oh my, like some kids are in love with their teacher, and I was in love with a girl that sat across from me in my history class, right? Anyway, yeah, and I would fantasize about like, oh, her and me meeting after school and stuff, and of course that never happened because she was 13, so she's older and more mature, and she's only gonna date the fucking 14-year-old boys and the 15-year-old boys. She ain't gonna date me. I'm fucking a year younger than her. So anyway, and I was a nerd. I was a comic book nerd. Okay, no, she wasn't attracted to me at all. But yeah, so I know what it's like, okay? And then, I would have all these fantasies about it, And then one day, I asked her out. I asked her out on a date, which was stupid. It was stupid. Our school, our junior high was having a dance, which if you're a comic book nerd, don't ever go to them. Okay, you're just asking to be made fun of. But of course, me being stupid, she said she was like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll dance with you at the dance, snicker, and I believed her. Of course I did, because I was a fucking idiot, okay? But I was also an immature little kid, basically, who loved comic books. I only loved two things. I loved her, and I loved my comic books, okay? So I went to the stupid dance, and sure enough, her girlfriends were there, because she was kind of one of the popular girls, because she had big titties, and she was only 13 years old, and this was 7th grade. and of course, her and her girlfriends just made fun of me. Oh my God, they pretended to like me. I was a big joke. They just embarrassed the fuck out of me, and I had to run out of that dance. Luckily, my school was near to my house, so I could actually walk home. But yeah, it was embarrassing as fuck. It was so fucking embarrassing because I really thought this girl liked me, okay? Now, the reason I bring up this topic, the reason I bring this up is because that's kind of what's going on here with Rob. He's around the same age that I was back then, a little bit older, I think. I think he's 14 in the scene here. And he's crazy about this girl. This is his first time he's ever kissed a girl, he's ever smelt a girl, gotten this into. This is the most intimate he's ever been with a girl, is just kissing her, and all of a sudden there's another guy there. So he feels like he's rejected, like he's nothing, like he thought he was important. He thought it was important, to her. He thought he was an important man, a boy, because this girl liked him, this pretty girl liked him. And then it turns out, well, there was nothing special about you, actually, okay? And that's kind of how I felt at the time. I thought that, oh my God, I've got a chance with the girl that I've got a crush on all year. I've got a chance with her. She's actually going to dance with me at the dance. Oh my God, I'm going to dance with a girl, finally. And no, she's just there to make fun of me. Her and her girlfriends were just there to make fun of me, and that was pretty bad. But it's that disappointment. It's that feeling like I'm not good enough. Like I thought I was good enough, but I'm really not. That's kind of what he's going through, okay? And yes, we feel that too, ladies. We feel that too. The difference between us and you, I think, is that a lot of girls, most girls, the ones that are at least decent looking, they tend to have crushes on the high value boy, the boy that comes from the rich family, the popular kid in school, okay? That jock, the athlete, okay? The one with all the friends, okay? They tend to be more attracted to that. Well, that's such a small percentage of the boys that are going to school with you. The rest of the boys are just invisible. They're just invisible, okay? But the majority of the girls want that small percentage of guys. Okay. Meanwhile, the guys that are invisible, we want the average looking girls. We want the average looking girls. But all you girls want are the extremely rare guys. So how do you think we feel? So when one of the average looking girls, that's all we want. We're not trying to date the best looking girl at school. We already know that ain't gonna happen. But we might be able to get like a girl that's in the middle range. We might be able to get her. Because we're in the middle range. Okay, it turns out, no, we can't. Even the middle range girls only want the fucking popular guys. Okay? So it sucks when that's confirmed to you. Okay? It sucks. It sucks a lot. Because there was girls that they weren't the best looking girls, but they weren't the ugliest. They were average looking girls. And even those girls wouldn't go out with us. They just wanted the best guys. That's kind of fucked up. Because at least us, your typical average guy knows we can't get the good girl, the high value girl. We can't get her. So we're not even going to try. We're going to go for the other fucking 90% of the girls. Okay, but unfortunately, that 90% of the girls want the 10% of the guys. So that's what's fucked up. And you know what? It's still that way today. It's still that way today. I know, times have not changed. That's why you go through all this shit in high school and junior high, to prepare you for the adult world, okay? All right. So yeah, so I understand his loss, that he's heartbroken. He's heartbroken. This girl, like, he thought he was special, and now he turns out he's not. That's a hard realization, especially at that age. You know, when you're a kid that age, you see what grown-ups are doing. You see grown-ups kissing each other, hugging each other, holding hands, you know, going on dates together. You see it with your parents if your parents are still together. Or you'll see it with your mom and her boyfriend, or your dad and his girlfriend, or her second wife, or whatever the fuck, okay? We see that. So naturally, we just assume it's going to be like that for us when we grow up, okay? But when we first start, you know, going out with the opposite sex, obviously it's not going to work out the very first time you do it, okay? And people's emotions get hurt, and you know, and this is his wake up call. Like, hey, dude, dating's not easy. Just because a girl likes you right now does not mean she'll like you tomorrow, okay? And you've got to understand that, all right? And it's better that you learn this lesson early, okay, instead of later. The guys that learn it at middle age, those are the ones you need to feel sorry for, not the ones that get it broken when they're 14 years old, okay? At least now you know it's coming. Now you know it's capable of happening, okay? Because you've been through it, all right? But of course, did he learn from this? No, he didn't. He carried this resentment, okay? And I did for a while too. I mean, it really bummed me out, you know? It really bummed me. I mean, I don't think about what happened to me anymore that much. I mean, I thought about it right now because I wanted to tell you the story. But, you know, yeah, it bummed me out for a while when I was 12 years old. 12 years old. Feeling inadequate because girls didn't like me. I was fucking 12 years old, for Christ's sake. You know, I mean, well, the 12-year-old girls had boyfriends, but the 12-year-old boys did not have girlfriends, okay? I was too young to realize it at that time, okay? So I blame myself for it. I felt like I was inadequate, and that's why she made fun of me. That's why her and her friends made fun of me, you know? I never should have asked her out to dance. But anyway. Oh, well, I did see her later, though. I saw her as adults, and let's just say I'm glad things didn't work out between her and me, okay? And we'll just leave it at that. All right, anyway. Now, if she asked me out, I'd probably laugh at her. But anyway, okay. So that's going on. Yeah, so he sees her kissing the other guy, Kevin Bannister, okay, and he's pissed off, okay? So now we go back to the present, okay? He's staring at the camera. He's looking at you, the audience, smoking a cigarette. All pissed off, reliving that hurt again, because he wants to, okay? He wants to be in his depressed mood. He's not trying to get out of it, okay? He's like, it would be nice to say that since I was 14, times have changed. Relationships have become more sophisticated. Females less cruel. Skin's thicker. Instincts more developed. But there has been an element of that afternoon in everything that has happened to me since. All my romantic stories are a scrambled version of that first one. Okay, so yes, Rob Gordon does delve into self-pity. Now, that is a trait for most of us. I'm an artist, okay? I love to draw, I love to paint, I acted, I did all that kind of dance, I did all that kind of stuff, all right? And yes, artists, we love to feel sorry for ourselves, okay? It's a bad thing, and thank God I grew out of it finally. It took me a while, but I finally did. I started having more gratitude for my life instead of fucking feeling sorry for myself. But there's a lot of guys my age that are still there. A lot of women I know my age that are still there. Okay, still, you know, all feeling sorry for themselves, okay? That's not something you want to do, okay? It's not healthy, okay? But I'm going to give Rob Gordon a pass because when I was back then, when this movie came out, when I was his age, well, I'm actually younger than him, I was that way, okay? I did tend to feel sorry for myself. I did tend to blame myself for shit that wasn't my fault, okay? And I tended to fucking, to want sympathy from people. You know, woe is me, poor me, another girl broke my heart. You know, like that kind of shit. Yeah, I'm guilty of that. I'm an artist, what the fuck? That's what we do, okay? The best artists in the world are fucking our emos, like me. Okay, so yeah, so I totally relate to this guy. You know, he still feels sorry for himself, okay? And he still compares that first heartbreak he had. He brought that pain and that expectation. That's the important. He brought that expectation to all of his future relationships. Now, is that crazy? No, it's not. Unfortunately, a lot of people do that. I did that. And sometimes I still do, which is bad, but I'm not a perfect human being. But yeah. It's he brought that pain. He brought that expectation already that the girl is gonna fucking not like him, is gonna cheat on him, he brought all that to all of his future relationships. He had that in the back of his mind all the time because the first one hurt him so bad that relationships are not about falling in love, about finding a life partner. They're about getting hurt. You see? Getting hurt, okay? Ladies, why do you think so many guys, okay, are so afraid to be emotional with you? Why do you think that is? Because of shit like this. Okay, because they have been emotional before, and what happened? They got shit on. Now, I wouldn't count fucking a junior high girl jilting you a big deal. It's not. It's not, okay? But Rob turned it into a big deal because he didn't let it go. He didn't see it for what it was. Like, Jesus Christ, you kissed a girl in junior high. Big fucking deal. You didn't even fuck. I mean, you were just a kid back then. Of course, you're not going to make the right decisions, okay? Of course, you're not going to find the right girl back then. Get the fuck out of here, But Rob didn't see it that way. He blew it up. He made it hyperbolic. He turned this into something, a big fucking life-changing event when it should have just been a footnote and he should have moved on, okay? Unfortunately, guys like me, we've done this. We've done it. I was jealous of the guys that fucking got hurt early and just fucking threw it away and went on to the next girl. They could do it just like that, like nothing happened. I was always jealous of guys like that because I wasn't like that, okay? I had to cry about it and sulk and be depressed and just listen to sad bastard music, until another girl saved me. Oh my God, the immaturity I had was just off the charts. That's what you do when you're a kid, all right? And unfortunately, this set the foundation for his future relationships. He never let go of that. He never let go of Allison Ashmore. The fact that he still remembers her, fuck, I could barely remember the girl that fucking broke my heart back then, okay? Even though nothing happened. Okay, I do remember her name, but I ain't gonna say it, okay? But anyway, so that's the foundation. Okay, he got his heart broken when he was 14, and that ruined him for the rest of his life, as far as relationships go, in his opinion, all right? Okay. All right, so I'm going to stop my review right here, and I'll be back shortly and give you part 3 of my review of High Fidelity. Okay, I thank you very much for watching as long as you have, and I will see you soon on the next one. Bye.